On the show, we interview other writers and we talk about mental health from their personal journeys. If you have not already hit that like and subscribe button, go ahead, do that now so that you never miss an episode.
And guess what? We did it. We did it. We did it. What did we do? We hit 300 on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right? That's a big deal. So now we have to hit 350. You know, you hit one goal, then you got to hit the next one. So everybody make sure that you keep sharing these out because obviously we talk about important stuff and we have fun while we do it. So, I mean, just share it. Cool. All right, now that boring stuff's out of the way. Today on the show, we have a new author with us. She has not been on the show because recently we've had a few return guests, which is not a bad thing. Just, it's fun to have new ones too. So welcome. And she just told me how to say the last name, and yet I'm going to butcher it, so we're going to try hard. Here we go. Tschritter.
Perfect. S.E. Tschritter. You did it. Ta-da! Most of the letters are silent. Yeah.
Right? I was like, stressing out.
Nailed it.
All right, so tell us a little bit about who you are.
My name is S.E. Tschritter. Sam is what the S stands for, so you guys can call me Sam. I have been writing since I was in third grade. Like, I didn't realize I was a writer for a really, really long time, but I loved it. I thought it was something that everyone did, something that everyone was good at, something everyone loved.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to realize that I was wrong and that people don't write books for fun or tell stories for fun.
It's so funny because I'm the same way. Like, I was always writing my whole life too, and like plays and all that stuff. I'm just like, this is what you do, and then I find out it's not.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. So did you write books for fun then too? Would you rather write a book than watch TV?
Yeah, and skits and plays. Yeah, I was all about writing dramas and then making my cousins act them out for me.
Right. And I used to tell stories to my cousins in the back of my dad's station wagon from one family event to another. Yeah.
Right. And like they would sleep over, and because I was the older one, they'd sleep over and I would tell this elaborate story, which I wish I would have recorded or something because I'm like, those might have been good. I remember it was so like dramatic, but I don't know. Oh no, did we freeze? Are you still there, Sam? I'm going to just randomly mumble on until she hopefully comes back because she's frozen. And you know what's funny about that? About technology in general is that we chatted for like probably a good 10 minutes before we started with no issues. And then you start recording and then there's issues. It's great fun that way. That's total fun. So she'll be back. So I'm just gonna ramble some more. On the topic that she had already brought up is thinking about how you have always thought things your whole life, because I'm having a lot of these revelations lately where my husband will be like, no, that's actually not normal. People don't always do that. I'm like, what do you mean? So the biggest one, the most hilarious one, is the one day we're driving the car and I'm just like randomly humming or something. My husband's like, does your brain ever shut off? I was like, no, that's not a thing that happens. And he's like, yes, brains can be quiet. I'm like, no, actually brains can't be quiet. And we had this argument because I didn't believe him that brains could be quiet. But apparently they can. So comment down below. Do you have a quiet brain or a not so quiet brain? Because mine is a not so quiet brain. Which is why when we have these little hiccups, it's easy for me to continue rambling on about stuff as we wait for the guest to come back in. It looks like she's trying. She's trying hard. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so that was quite the revelation. The other big revelation I had was I asked him the one day, again driving in the car, because we're bored, we're doing nothing. I go, are you always moving? And he's like, what the hell are you talking about? I go, like, I'm sitting here in the car and I'm like wiggling my feet along, and normally it's like, right, you're on the street and the street has like the lines in the middle, right? And if they're broken up ones, I like tap along with the line. And he's like, no, that's also not a thing that everyone does. I'm like, but but I've done it my whole life. What are you talking about? And it's really kind of blown me away, the things that I have learned, that I'm like, this is just, to me, a regular part of life. And it's not being a regular part of life for other people. And I know now as an adult, obviously, we learn things, that everyone is very different. We all have different ways of learning and different ways of doing. There she is. See, I told you she'd come back. So I'll finish telling my story and then we'll get back on track. I just rambled on for a while. Yeah. And so as we grow and we become adults, we learn that people are all different, but it's hilarious because when we're little, we think everybody is thinking the same thing as us. And so when you finally stop and realize that they don't, it's quite the revelation. And that's kind of something that happened as I was an adult, especially as I'm going to get my autism diagnosis, going, oh my gosh, I thought this was normal because this is just how I've always been. And it's also how my kid is because, well, she's got it too. And so it really is eye-opening. And that is my ramble. But we are back.
I'm so
Sam is
sorry
back
about
with
that.
us.
We were
Oh,
buffering. I
good.
was like, stop.
Oh,
No,
good.
that's when I had several books on Amazon, my friends were like, people don't write books for fun, right? Like, that's like, you might be an author. So
Oh, I like that. You might be an author if. Yep.
if you have
That's
several
funny.
books on Amazon. Yeah, so that was how I learned that I was an author because I was contributing to different pieces and different writings but I didn't
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, I just contributed a story to that. I just wrote a story for this
Right?
anthology, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really consider myself an author.
Yeah.
And then it started building up and there were more and yeah,
Yeah. And
that's
I
how it
mean,
was.
I've talked to hundreds of people by this point. But like even for myself, the first book I wrote, I'm like, yeah, I wrote a book. Not I'm an author, just I wrote a
Correct.
book,
I
right?
wrote
It's
a
a
book.
very
It's
different
the same
statement.
thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's how we process it. Okay, so that's what you do, but who are you in your soul?
My soul.
Your soul. This is the hardest question of the whole thing. Who are you in your soul?
I Man, I was just writing like one of those Instagram photos or whatever, like mom, gardener, wife.
Oh, there you go. So
Podcast.
you know. So tell us these things.
So I'm a Bible geek, which I'm not gonna like shove faith on anyone, but like the only questions I get right on Trivial Pursuit are ones that have to do with the Bible.
Oh,
Um,
that's funny. Disney.
right? Like that's
Yeah,
your category,
it
right?
is.
Like
Yeah,
if
I got
Jeopardy
that.
was only Bible related, that would
You'd win.
I'd I'd be good. And not
Nice.
even literature, Bible, just like
I love that though.
um
You know what you're good at.
I
So
do.
if I have that come up, I will call you and be like, "Yo, I got this trivia.
Ask
Half the
questions, yeah.
questions are Disney, half the questions are Bible. Like you got to come help. We're we'll
100%
be the
right. I
best
will call
team."
you. You will know the
Perfect.
answer.
I love it.
So I also garden, which I lived in Minnesota for a long time too. All right. So I gotta stop touching the mic. Um, I lived in Minnesota, so the gardening season was much shorter, and now I'm in South Carolina, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to be outside like for
Yeah.
months and months and
I'm
months.
in Canada, so I get it. I know.
Yeah,
I
that's
cannot garden right now. I don't even want to leave my house right now. It's been snowing all damn day. I hate it. It's cold. It's gross. I just. And
you
last
know,
week I was in Cuba where it's hot and warm and sunny.
I've never been to Cuba. I want to go sometime,
Oh
but
my gosh, it is my favorite place to be. We have been 4 times now. We've been to Mexico, we've been to Dominican. Cuba. Cuba is the place to go. It is beautiful. The beaches, you can't beat them anywhere, really. And the people are just so nice.
that.
Yeah.
We had a snow day here. Like we got a significant amount of snow, like 6 inches or so. That's significant for the South.
I was gonna
And
say, mine's like, like chest height at points. Yeah.
I've shoveled that. I mean, there was a reel I did once about how like, I shoveled the entire driveway out, like all 5 feet by 5 feet by
Yeah.
15 feet. And and then a snowplow came
Oh
to
my
clear the
gosh,
street.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my husband hates that because I don't shovel. That's his job. Yeah, he hates it so much.
Yeah, and then I just like felt really sorry for myself. But here, like it snowed and we were the only ones in our whole street that had like sleds and
Oh,
salts and a shovel and
wow.
like all the snow things and a corncob pipe. We also have,
And a button nose too?
well, I mean, we have buttons, but we lent our neighbor our corncob pipe because he's in his 20s and he was making his first snowman ever.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's
that's,
awesome.
I was like, I've got it. Here you go.
We want
Uh,
to build a snowman.
Obviously. So, and then, yeah,
Excellent. I love it.
yeah,
So, you have kids then? You have
I do.
sleds? How
3.
many?
Yep. 3
3. Oh my
daughters.
goodness.
2 are
Oh, awesome.
teenagers, one's a preteen, so I get all the attitude. I got all the attitude right
Yeah.
before we came on today, and I was like, thank you.
I love getting attitude before I have to go be cheery. Yeah,
Yeah,
I get that.
the screaming mom. Yeah.
The great thing about this show that is though is that we get it because it's all about mental health or disabilities or whatever. So like we get it.
Ta-da! Yeah, we're just doing our best, and I'm like screaming like a banshee, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've been there, done that. We'll probably be doing it again today. Um, so I always say start your story wherever makes the most sense for you, and I'm just gonna interrupt you when I have questions.
Start my story.
Start your story. I
The
know.
whole thing, huh?
The whole thing.
S
I want right from when you're in the womb. I want to know how you felt. No, wherever makes the most
Well,
sense.
so I was born with cerebral palsy. Very mild, but you can like see it. I don't like to point this out because then people see it, but you can see it when I talk and when I smile. Like one side of my mouth is not like
Now
does
all I
not
want
move
to
as
do
well.
is ask you to smile really big so I can see it. See, I still can't notice it myself. I think you're good. I can't notice it.
Well,
No, I
it's
mean
okay.
you're
So
good
here's
either way.
this, right? So you
Oh,
can't
you
like
can see
my
it a little bit in the hand. Yeah, okay, okay.
So I was born with mild cerebral palsy, and my whole life I've worked around it. It was something I lived with, so it didn't ever feel like a disability, except for the 6 months I was in a body cast. But we don't have to talk about that part unless we
Oh,
want to.
but we do unless
We
you
do.
don't want to.
No,
Cause
we
now
can.
I'm curious. How
So
old were you? How did it happen? What the heck?
so they corrected it. They realized I had CP. My mom realized it first because she kept trying to put my spoon in my right hand when I was a baby, and I just had
Okay.
this closed fist, and I wouldn't take the
Oh,
spoon.
okay.
So
Yeah.
she suspected things before anyone else did.
Moms know.
They do. I started crawling really fast, but then I didn't learn how to walk until
Okay.
later, like
Yeah.
almost
Okay.
2, so I was a late walker. And then when I
Yeah.
started walking, I was walking pigeon-toed.
Oh.
My left foot was fine, but my right foot was turned in and short, and I
Did
was
you
like
have to wear
walking.
those stupid shoes that like held your feet together at night? Yeah.
First, that was where the body cast came in.
Oh, see,
So
I had to wear those shoes at night. It was the worst thing ever, and I hated it because, yeah, my feet were, I can't remember if they were that way or whatever, which they were in the wrong direction.
they actually I had a surgery done at Children's Memorial in
Oh,
Chicago,
okay.
and I guess there was like a princess on my floor at the time, but I was too young to understand how
Yeah, yeah.
significant that was. I was like 6. I'm like, okay,
Okay.
there's a princess. Yeah, we were playing whatever. I don't even know what country she was from. My
Oh,
parents don't remember. So, but they did a heel cord lengthening, so they took like part of the tendon in my right leg and then like
oh.
stretched out my right leg and turned it out so that
Oh.
and then braced it in a body cast. So it was like from my waist down, I had this body cast for 6 months.
And you said you were like
And
6?
I was 6. I was in first grade.
I could not. So, like, obviously I've got kids, but they're older now. But my grandson is literally 6 right now. I could not imagine telling this small child, you can't move and run and do. Like, oh my gosh, that must have been awful.
It was pretty rough.
Yeah.
There's a traumatic story that happened in there, but for the most part, like the kids were really they were as inviting as they possibly could be. I
Well, that's
actually
good.
went to my normal first grade class and they
Oh,
found a
okay.
table that was the height of my wheelchair. So I had a wheelchair that was like flat.
Yeah.
So I would lay on my stomach and just write on the table and it
Oh,
was
that's
right
kind
next to
of
the other
neat
kids.
then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, there were certain things I couldn't do. I couldn't go to art. I couldn't go to music because
Oh,
the
the
school I
fun
went to,
ones.
right, those were the classes upstairs, right? And
Okay.
there's no elevator at that school.
Yeah.
This was before all of those
Yeah.
things, all those laws went into place.
Yeah.
So, but I don't even remember feeling like I was missing out on those things.
That's
I
good
don't,
though. That is so
yeah.
good because that would have been awful to have that feeling on top of, you can't go and run and play.
Right. And then, I mean, like kids got used to not inviting me to birthday parties. So I don't think I went to as many birthday parties as I otherwise would have when I was
Okay.
like out of my body cast and walking. So there were some social like ramifications for what happened,
Yeah.
but for the most part, I felt fine. Like
Okay.
I don't know.
That's
I
good.
just right. And I learned how to make the most of opportunities. Like we're gonna make the most of it. We're just
Yes.
gonna because that's what you have to do. You work, there's a workaround to every obstacle, and
Yes.
you just make it work.
So
So,
good.
and then in high school, there's a mandatory typing class, and I
Hmm.
didn't take it, and I still graduated. And I'm not
Hmm.
sure.
Well, I mean, mandatory I feel is kind of loose because, like, okay, obviously I'm in Canada, so our things are a little bit different, but um, it is mandatory to take French from grades 4 to 9, 10.
I don't know.
I don't know, something like that. Something like that. But it's a very brief period of time, really. Um, my kid could not could barely even function in the English class, let alone let's go teach her French. So she was exempt right from grade 4. So in high school, it is classified as a compulsory credit. That's what they call it. But there is workarounds because, like you said, there's workarounds and rules that like, okay, if the student literally can't do this, then here is your alternative. And it still is a compulsory alternative, like you have a certain choice. But there is that little workaround. So maybe that's your school had like a little workaround or
I don't
something.
even know because I just avoided the class as long as possible. And
Yeah.
then I avoided it and I graduated. So I don't, but I don't know. But I was worried that they were going to fail me because you have to put your fingers on the keyboard a certain way and you have
Yeah.
to type a certain way. And I don't do that. I type all like this, all with one hand.
Yeah.
So I
That's
was
yeah. That's how I
I
learned to
mean,
type too. Only my obviously not nearly as significant as your reasoning, but when I want to say it was in grade 3 or 4, something like that. That's when my school had the typing class because that was early 90 mid 90s, and so it was starting to be a big thing, them realizing, oh, computers are going to be around for a long time, so we need to teach these kids to use a computer properly and stuff. And so right when it was that unit of typing properly, do people even type properly any, like do they actually put their finger or whatever? um I was playing at my uncle's house, and they had made this like, not a go-kart because it didn't have an engine, but like a push kind of go-kart. Anyway, so I'm sitting in there and my uncle's pushing me. He's a large man. My left hand, yeah, it was my left hand, fell. The go-kart wheel went over it. My uncle stepped on it. It was, and so everybody's like, don't look, because a lot of times before you actually see an injury, you don't feel it. So they're like, don't look. I'm like, it hurts, but it wasn't like bawling. I'm like, it hurts. And then, of course, don't look means look. And
yeah.
I just start crying and it hurts. And so I did not, I had to do like one-handed, like that. Obviously, I can now two-hand type. But yeah, I'd have to like hit the caps lock and then go over and hit the other letter because I couldn't do it. And it was frustrating at the time. So, I mean, kudos to you for like always having to do it. Like that's impressive to me.
Yeah, I mean, I just hold like shift or whatever with my pinky and then do the
Yeah, yeah.
thing.
I guess your hands are bigger now, like because when you're
They
4,
are.
your
I
hand.
feel
Yeah,
like it's big because I've stretched it out. Well, in this
right.
hand, like sometimes it hits shift or enter, like it just,
Yeah,
it
you
has
can do a
like
little
it
bit.
does this.
Okay, but yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't quite have the range. Ah,
So,
but yeah, no, I'm like looking at my hand. I'm like, yeah, okay, it wouldn't be as bad now. I mean, when I was like 8, my hand's much smaller, so it was harder. But I'm like looking, like, okay. So clearly you've managed to work with it. Like you said, there's always a way to do things because you've written a few books, a few
yeah.
contributions to things, and we'll talk about those more in a little bit. Um, but what was maybe like the biggest hurdle that you had to deal with it?
with my hand and the
With
CP.
CP in general. If it's your hand, then yeah, but it's CP in general.
I think just like accepting myself,
That's a
honestly.
good one. So
Because
why? Yeah.
why? No, go ahead. Ask
Oh,
the full
that was pretty
question.
much it. Just why?
I mean, when I was in first grade, I felt like I was singled out. So I'll tell you about one of my most
Yes.
tragic, like traumatic moments.
I love tragedy. That sounds horrible, but I mean, from
Well,
tragedy is how we grow.
I called myself the grief advocate, and I don't have a degree in counseling or anything like that, but I've learned how to articulate things in a way that other people cannot.
Which is
So,
important. Yes.
right. And learning, like, just understanding that everyone's story is different, but tragedy and
Yeah.
trauma changes how we view things and how we're able to function. And I call it
Hmm.
like living and loving to the best of our broken ability. And
Oh,
so,
I like that. Where's my little notebook? I'm writing it down. Hold on, hold on. Because
I'll
one day I'm gonna take all of these really cool quotes and make a little book from the Write or Die Show, and then I'll quote you in it. Okay, say it again. Say it again.
living and loving to the best of our broken ability. We are all, I mean, there's a beginning of the sentence too. I kind of gave you a fragment.
Yeah, but I like that. It's the perfect quote.
Yeah, thank you.
You can keep going now.
Okay. I'm like, do you need more?
No,
So
no, this is
we were,
just little quotes. I want to make like, like coffee table books where they have like a pretty picture and then like a little quote and whatever. So I want to do that for all my guests on the show. Make like a cute little thing, and then the money raised from that will go to mental health, and it would be great.
love that. That's amazing. So yeah, so that's what just learning how to live with it and learning how to accept myself. When I was in first grade and I was in that class, they
Hmm.
had the jobs for each kid, like the line leader and the
Oh
chalkboard
yes.
eraser,
Okay.
right? And
Yeah.
like desk cleaner. I was one of the jobs, which I never felt bad about. Like they always
Okay.
made it sound like fun and the kids would fight over who got to take me out to the playground, but
Okay,
take
that's
Sam
good.
take Sam out to the playground was one of the jobs on the board. And so like the kids they would take turns. There was one day on the playground that it started pouring, pouring. And my little
Did you
helper,
get
I don't know,
forgotten?
I was in a wheelchair. So it was like I don't even know how. So this is the wheelchair, right? And the
Mhm.
back went down. So it was flat. I couldn't I couldn't reach the brakes on the wheels, so I couldn't wheel myself. The kids all like grades kindergarten through fifth grade all ran in to the school because it was downpour. Don't know what happened to like the adults on the playground who were supposed to be like they were preoccupied herding all the kids in, right? And so I was just left on the playground in a torrential rainpour.
Oh my gosh.
I looked up, like the fifth grade class was still in class, and
Okay.
you could like their yellow light from the windows, right? And all these
Oh,
kids,
okay, yeah.
there was one kid that came to the window and then did like the immediate like, oh my gosh, come see this, like you could see
Oh
the
my
kid
gosh.
turn his head. He had brown hair. I remember. I don't even know
Yeah.
who it was, but he like looked back and he's like, come here, and so then all of a sudden there's like this line of little fifth graders staring down at me, and I
Oh
was
my
like, this,
gosh.
I wasn't even embarrassed. I was like, they see me,
Yeah,
right?
help.
So, right. So then the teacher came, Miss Andersek. I remember her name, Miss Andersek. She came to the
Wow.
window. She saw me, like wide eyes, open mouth, vanished. And she is coming for me. So she was like top floor. When she came out to get me, she was wearing a pencil skirt and pumps. And
So
she
she
like
didn't stop for nothing. She's like, I gotta get to this kid, which
she
I mean,
like took
good.
it in high heels and she wheeled me in and she left me in that like entryway area and she
Okay.
chewed out the adults there like
Yes.
hardcore. I was like, oh, you
Yes.
are my hero. So It was traumatic for me, but there was also like hope and light in the fact that
Yeah.
they
Good
saw me.
people are there.
Right. It was not long. I was not out there long,
But
but I was
still,
forgotten. Yeah, and that's
long
my
enough that that is a core memory at this point.
it is a core like soul piece of me that like if I feel like people can't hear me
Yeah.
or I feel like I'm being ignored, it goes back to that little girl on the playground who can't be
Yeah.
seen. Uh-huh. That's a thing. So now, now you know like the worst part about not the worst part about me, but like
But a pretty
one of the most
traumatic part.
traumatic childhood memory. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Wow. Well, thanks
She
for
saw
sharing.
me later, like 4 years later, and she's like, "Hey, do you remember when you were left out on the playground?" I was like, "Yes, thank you."
Oh, yes. I love being reminded of one of the most traumatic events. Thank you. Thank you.
Right, we were at a restaurant, and she recognized me and saw me, and
Oh my gosh.
was
Well,
just
I
like, "Hey,
mean,
here's one."
obviously, it is her core memory as well, since she was remembering it. So,
She saved me that day, so she was allowed to bring it up.
right. Yeah,
Right.
I've been at. Apparently, I have not changed much either over the years. And so the one day I was at a Tim Hortons, I think with my dad. So, because this is like before I was married. So I was probably like 17, maybe 16, 17, something like that. Um, and my daycare teacher came in and she was like, "Oh my goodness, Randy, look at you." Da, da, da. And I'm like, I don't I don't know who you are. Because it wasn't like I didn't have any core traumatic memories to, but it was like my daycare preschool teacher remembered me. And I'm like, oh, is
And
that a good thing or a
recognized
bad?
you,
And
and
recognized me. I'm like, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Like, I don't know, but I don't
yeah,
think I was a troublemaker. I don't know. Right? Yeah. Oh, look, we have someone that says hi. Hi. It's
Patrick,
exciting.
nice to see you.
Um, wow, that was very traumatic. So as let's continue on
Right?
with
Are
your
you
life. Let's
traumatized
continue
by
on.
my trauma?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you get out of this body cast,
Mhm.
and I'm assuming that it had some benefits, that it worked as well as it could.
I walk normally now. People only notice I limp when I'm tired, or I trip on my right
Okay.
foot when I'm tired, but that's the extent of it. And if you saw me in shorts, my right leg is smaller, but I think that's because
Okay.
they took the ligament and like shifted it
Oh,
or
yeah, yeah.
stretched it or however. But I mean, I've run 5Ks, I did a sprint triathlon.
Mm.
Yeah, I love it. I like my favorite exercise is hit and cardio kickboxing. So,
Oh, I used to be a kickboxer, like competitive kickboxer, I'm talking.
really?
Like went
Okay.
to worlds and have trophy like medals and stuff. Oh yeah, the whole nine. Um, then my back kind of said, "Hey, you have arthritis." But I'm working on it because I told my husband I'm gonna be 39 this year. Shh. But I told my husband that next year when I'm 40, um, I'm gonna compete again.
You can
That is
survive
my
40. I survived.
goal. And so for the next year and a half, I want to try and figure out how to train my body the way that it needs to be in the state that it is in now, because it took me a few years to be able to grieve over what I had lost in my mobility with that. And then now that I'm over that stage of it, I got to figure out what will work for me now. And I figured out a few things. Pilates is great. I do like HIIT. I have a few different kickbox things that I still do, and I'm gonna work out and figure out what to do. But I love it. It's so much fun, isn't it? So much
Well,
fun.
it's yeah, and I love the classes where you feel like everyone's doing the same thing. It's like a dance class, and you're
It
just there with
is.
your friends, and you're exercising and
Yep.
building muscle. I
Yep.
love it.
I started as like cardio kickbox class, and I was like, oh, it's fun to hit stuff, and then I kind of went from there. It's good. It's good times. Well, that's fantastic.
So
So
yeah, so it doesn't stop me.
that's amazing. And then when it comes to raising three lovely darlings, we love them most of the time. Um, has it had any, and not necessarily physically, but has it had at any time any kind of, I don't want to say issue, that's a bad word, but I think you know what I'm trying to say, right? Because like when kids are little, especially babies, I remember like trying to configure holding her in the bottle. We did bottle feeding. We did holding her in the bottle, and I got the other thing, and where's the burp blanket? What was there ever a time that you're like got frustrated at something?
That so like being able to function as a parent was never an issue for me. Like I nursed my daughters, they were fine, everything like that. There was one moment where my daughter, it's hard to explain. So I was driving, she was in the seat right behind me. So I
Okay,
reached
yep.
back with my right hand to console her because she was crying.
Okay.
And I reached back and she was holding my hand and she kissed me and I heard her kiss me, but I did
Oh.
not feel the kiss because I have
Oh.
limited feeling in my right hand as well.
Okay.
And that's another key moment where I was like, I feel sorry for myself.
Yeah.
Like, those don't happen very often. For the most part,
Yeah.
I'm strong, I've overcome a lot of different things, but that moment where I heard her kiss me,
You
it's
couldn't
like,
feel it.
I couldn't feel my daughter's kiss.
That is emotional.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. So,
Right? Yeah, I get that. That is rough. I mean, in a different sense, right? Because my kid has autism, there's like, I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be touched. But I mean, she's older now. She's 19, but she still is a don't touch me kind of girl. But there would be times when I'm just like, I just want to hug you, and I can't because I know that it's just gonna set you off. And then there'd be the moment where she'd come running and give me the hug, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's, I mean, it's very different, but
yeah, it's the
like
same
we've
thing.
been saying this whole time is we're all different, but that whole emotional trauma or whatever, the feelings are the same. The deep down feelings are the same, and that's what brings us together.
Feelings of loss or inadequacy or grief or
Right?
forgottenness, yes.
Right?
And now they know more about what I've dealt with. They're older now, so there are some things that they are
Yes.
able to do that I am not able to do. Like even when they were little, we were picking up toys, and I would pick up toys with one hand. So they'd pick up toys with one hand.
Right?
I said,
Because they're doing
no,
what mommy does.
right? I'm like, you use both hands. Now, like the 11-year-old sometimes has to put the earring back on my earring for me because I can't like hold it in
Yeah.
place the right way. So they help me with certain things, or they know that there are certain things that I do differently that they,
Yeah.
teach them the normal way to do it. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that's awesome too, because I mean, it can be frustrating for you at times to have to, be like, okay, my earring fell out. Where you at? I need some help. Um, but like, I think it's wonderful that the kids are like, oh, mom needs this. And it's just a natural kind of thing to want to help.
right.
And, I think about when I had the flu in December. Oh my gosh, it was like the worst thing ever. Um, and my kid brought me the cold face cloth. And she brought me a bucket because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Um, but it's those things that make you go, I think I'm doing a good job, which is great because then we have those moments like we talked about where we're feeling inadequate because I, what did I do wrong? For me, it was what did I do wrong where my kid doesn't want to hug me because it was before we knew the diagnosis. I'm like, oh, something's
Right.
obviously wrong with me. Like, um, so we have
Perspective.
those exactly. So we have those moments of like self-doubt or whatever, but then it's those moments that just they really make us smile, right? Like it's amazing.
They don't even think about it with me. Like
Right?
I'm their jar opener for the large things because I can hold something in my right hand and twist with my left and
Okay,
I can
yep.
open the jar. Sorry, my buttons are like making all sorts of noise on the desk.
That's all good.
That's fine. But then like the little tiny things, like I had an eyeliner container that I couldn't
Oh.
twist because I couldn't hold it small enough in this hand.
Oh, yeah,
So I
yeah.
brought like that. This was like this eyeliner here that I put on for this interview. I went over
Oh,
to my daughter Kelly, my middle, and I was like, I need you to open this for me. And she did. She just twisted it off and gave it back. And they never make me feel stupid or like, oh,
and
you
and
can't
that's
do
what
that.
I love about it because I think about how and it's because bleh. Sometimes I have too many thoughts all at once and they all want to come out at the same time, but they can't. It doesn't work. Um,
Can try
this
though.
I really do try. Um, this morning, my kid was having this not necessarily debate, but she had watched some TikTok about how video games now are easier than video games back that in the 90s and blah blah blah. Anyways, that led us to the topic of participation trophies, which
Mm.
then led me to start to the whole thing of, well, some people are going to be better than you and you're going to be better than some people. And the idea of um, learning to live with not consequences, but learning to live with loss and learning to live with wins is a skill all within itself. And so, as you're talking about this, I'm thinking about how wonderful it is that some kids can experience it and it's just natural so that like, I know now as she's grown, I mean, she's 19, but with autism, the brain's not quite there yet. But anyway, so as she grows, I know that she's going to be compassionate to people. And there is absolutely no price on compassion. Like, that is something that you can't necessarily teach. You have to live it. And that's the joy of this, right? Like, when I hear your story about your kids and they just do it and it's natural and it's part of their life, they're just compassionate people. And you know that when they become adults and continue going forward and find a spouse or have their own kids or whatever, the compassion's going to carry forward. And I love that.
They are good kids. I get so frustrated with them sometimes, but they
Well,
are
that's
like
what we
they
do
have.
as parents.
Why do I have to teach you to pick up your own socks?
Right.
Ah.
Right, exactly. My debate with my kid before our interview was, um, you need to start your laundry. Oh, can't you bring it out of my room? No, you can bring it out of your room. You're quite capable. Oh no, she's froze again. So I'm just gonna ramble. Oh, there, you're back. Yay. Um, but right, so parents were gonna get frustrated because we want them to do things, but it's those moments that I'm like, the compassion and the love. I love it so much. Okay, so enough about kids. Well, maybe it depends on my next question how you want to answer it. I always like to ask kind of a random ish question. But what piece of wisdom from your learned life, what piece of wisdom would you give to somebody who is maybe struggling a bit more with the self acceptance piece, whether it be that they have CP or autism or whatever it is, but they're struggling a bit more with that self-acceptance piece? What would you be some wisdom to them? Because you seem to be very, you've hit that mark. You've accepted who you are, and I love that for you.
I mean, my first inclination was to say love yourself, but to someone who's struggling to love themselves, you can't just say, well, just love yourself. Like,
Right, exactly.
problem
That's like
solved.
saying the definition of the sun is that it's the sun.
Right, exactly. So that's bad advice. That's not good wisdom. I think for someone struggling with that acceptance piece, to accept themselves is to understand like everyone has some sort of handicap in some way. Even people without handicaps have handicaps. And so learning that, like, I don't want to say that they're not unique because like everyone's unique, right? But also everyone has some sort of challenge that they have to overcome. And so being able to recognize that and recognize that I'm not different in the fact that, like, oh, this is just my thing that I have to learn how to deal with.
Yeah.
And I want just love yourself. Love yourself. Please love
Just
yourself.
do it. But no, I get what you're saying is that everybody has something, whatever it happens to be, and coming to terms with that something isn't always easy. But when you can come to terms with it, then you can start that whole loving yourself and accepting, and it all cycles in.
Some people don't have that self reflection piece, like self awareness. And I don't know how to give it to the ones who don't. Because it's like if you understood why you were doing that, it would help you.
Right? Well, that's just it. So there's certain things that I mean, when you were off trying to get back in here, I was
Sorry.
rambling on. It's all good.
Oh,
I
I
was
went and yelled at my
rambling.
kids. I was like, turn off all streaming devices right now.
I love that so much for you. Oh my gosh, and for me. Um, but I was rambling on about how I had learned things as an adult that I just thought because you had started the topic of, well, I always thought everybody just liked to write. So I
Right.
kind of went on that topic. and talked about how I learned things now as an adult that, oh, not everybody does this, or not everybody's brain never shuts up. It's strange to me how somebody could have a quiet brain. Um, it never stops. And so it's kind of like it was really hard for a long time to find that, why am I doing this thing? So, for instance, as a teenager, always felt like off, right? Like I'm not quite part of this group because, everybody wants to go find a date. I'm like, can I go play with my Barbies? Like I'm 13. I have zero interest in boys right now. Why do y'all care?
I have a Barbie story that I'll tell you to make you feel better. But yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So it was just like this complete why? Why am I so different feeling? And so there was very little self-acceptance as a teenager. Like that's when my depression was real bad. But then as an adult and as I get older and I'm realizing, oh, I think differently and this is why, and it's okay to think differently and whatever. That's when I finally started to accept myself. It took a
And
long
also,
time.
what are things that you can do that other people can't because of who you
Exactly.
are?
Right?
Maybe that's
This
the
right
thing
here.
people need to focus on. Right.
Right?
Not everyone can do what you do. And I like my my one daughter has ADHD and she has all these different projects going on all the time. Her room is like always six different projects.
Mm-hmm.
But she also has like so much more of a creative brain than a lot of people. And
Yes.
and that comes, I think, in part like it runs parallel with the ADHD and being able to
Yes.
just create and produce and do those things. The follow through the follow through is tough, but the
Right?
creativity is there.
When I started this show, so we are about to be 5 years in. That is insane to me. Just
Congratulations. That's
thank
so
you.
great.
It's March or May. I have to go look at my dates. It's one of the M months. But when I first started this, because I'm very, very similar to your daughter, where there's lots of projects, but is there follow through? My husband's like, okay, you can go do that. We'll see how far along you get, right? Like not in a mean way, but just like he knows me. Um, and now I'm like, haha, I'm doing it still. And he's like, I'm happy for you. Like, good. I'm glad. He's just like, but you gotta understand why I thought that. I'm like, no, I totally do. I didn't even think I'd be keep going, but I just. So
But
when you find your thing, though, when you can finally find it, it's pretty awesome. All right, Barbie story. Lay it on
Barbie
me.
story. All right.
Barbie
So
story.
I played with Barbies until I was a freshman in high school. I played with Barbies long enough to know that I should not confess to anyone that I was still playing with Barbies. And it took me, I mean, I didn't realize this until like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't even know how long. Like adulthood,
Yeah.
right? I'm 44. And I was like, I was telling stories. I was writing
Yeah.
fiction with the Barbies. That's
I
what I was
love
doing.
that. Yes.
I
Yes.
was a writer before I realized I was a writer. No one said, "Hey Sam, you're sitting at the top of the stairs building all like these worlds for your people because you
Right?
are storytelling right now." Like
Ah,
I wish someone could
yeah.
have just mentioned that
Explained
to
it
me.
for you, right?
Right,
And
instead of
then,
like, "Oh my
you
gosh, we
wouldn't
got
have to
this
learn it.
mess." Right.
Oh, I know. That's the best. It's like, but they're where they're supposed to be because this is Ken's house
I'm
and that's
up for the
Barbie's house
next
and this is
scene.
where
Right.
Stacy and Skipper and yeah, yeah.
I was
I
telling
feel
stories. And so I have forgiven myself for that geeky part of myself because I understand why I was doing it.
I love that. That's not a bad story. That is fantastic. I love
I
it so
know, but it's a little
much.
embarrassing when you're like, I was 14 and still playing with
But I
dolls.
admitted to it too, so we're good. We're twinsies here. It's fine.
And now I'm making money writing books. So
Right? So, haha, on everybody who made fun of you. Like, psh. And
they
ha,
didn't make fun
mom,
of me
I
because they
can.
didn't know it was my secret sin.
Well, ha, mom, I don't have to clean up my Barbies because now that's why I'm making money. um, so on that thought track of writing books and stuff, that seems like a great segue to what are
Yeah.
you promoting right now? What's going on?
So I have romantic suspense coming out soon, which I don't. It's the Lakeshore Secret, and it's on Facebook. That's the only place you can get information on it right now because we haven't even released a cover yet. But it is coming
Oh,
out this year. It's my debut novel, and I'm super pumped. So the Lakeshore Secret, you can find it on Facebook. I'm excited to write fiction. I'm working on that book too right now because I've been in the grief space for so long. My first published book was Love Letters to Miscarriage Moms. It was nonfiction. I wrote it in the midst of my grief so that other moms would not be alone in theirs.
Yeah.
And it has stories from over 40 moms and dads, and it has journal space, and it's gorgeous, and it's perfect. Like, it's a great book, but it was a grief book. It was
Yeah.
like to help people work through grief toward hope and healing.
Yeah.
And then I just finished The Prodigal Son, Crackhead to Jesus Freak. And that is a nonfiction, it's a memoir of my late husband's life. And this is going to be like a Chernobyl sentence. You'll see. So my late husband was a crack addict and an alcoholic who sobered up before I met him, but then relapsed in the first couple of years of our marriage. He was sober for 9.5 years. He went to school. We had 3 daughters. He became a pastor, and then he relapsed into alcohol and got in a drunk driving accident on a Saturday night, and that is how they found his cancer.
You just
Like,
opened up a whole other thing that we did not talk about.
well, I'll come back on whenever you want me to if you
You
need a
totally
guest.
have to now. We need to talk about loss and grief.
Addiction. And so that's
Yeah.
in the midst of that, like I was focused on the accident and the drunk driving, and
Yeah.
he lied to me. He hid his addiction. He got behind the wheel of a car, and the repercussions from his choice affected me. So that I was stuck there for a very long time. And the rest of the world is like cancer, 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 the sky is falling, and it just,
Yep.
but in the midst of that, my late husband Clint asked me to write his story. He said, "What are the chances I'd be married to an author whose best work comes from wounds and who has experience interviewing other people?
I just got shivers because, yeah. Yeah.
I want you to write my story." And I was like, "That is so dark. I don't want to go there." It took me 7 years, and here it is. This is it.
That looks like a great cover.
Thank you. I designed it myself. I put the pieces where I wanted them, and then I talked to my graphic designer. I'm like, fix this, make it better. So she did. But there's actually a part in here where I talk about like if this book has glue and a cover and a binding, then amazing things have happened because I don't think I'm ever going to be able to finish writing this. And I did. It's done.
That is fantastic.
People are like, "Oh my gosh, thank you for writing this book. I didn't realize how much I needed it." It's been on the Amazon bestseller list all month. The
Amazing.
The Kindle version has been in the top 100 all month, and
That's
so
amazing.
yeah, I'm floored. I am floored.
Yeah,
It's
I love it. That's what we want. That is what we hope. And now you're helping other people even more.
just the redemption story. Like,
Yeah.
if God can use a screw up like me, He can use anyone.
Yeah,
And talking
exactly.
about like my late husband had ADHD. He struggled with depression, and he didn't feel worthy of love most of the time. So when he had his accident and then people accepted him and loved him after his drunk driving accident, and his church begged the district superintendent and the bishop to put him back behind the pulpit, he
Wow.
was like, "People love me?"
It's a very strange sensation at times.
I don't understand. And then you get to the end, and he has a very powerful sentence. I'm not going to ruin it. I want
Right?
to,
No,
but
don't. Right? I know sometimes
you
we're
have to
like,
buy
we
the
just want
book.
to say it, but like also go read the book and buy it, you know?
It's so worth it. Like, it's well written. There are a few typos I'm going to fix these
Yeah, it
days.
happens. We
My
do the
readers are
best we
like,
can do.
"Hey, page, blah blah blah." Yeah.
Yeah. We do the best we can do. That is
It's written
amazing.
well. Thank you. So I'm really excited about this, and
Yeah.
it's changing lives, which that's the greatest compliment an author can receive. So
Yes,
that's
for
it.
sure.
That's it.
I love it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do people get the book?
It is everywhere. It's on barnesandnoble.com. It's on walmart.com. It's on amazon.com. They can go find it there. Anywhere.
Excellent. And where do people follow you?
My website is loveunedited.com.
I like that.
Thank you. loveunedited.com. I felt like that was being saved there just for me. There's a Let's Connect button right at the top there where all my stuff is. I'm SE Tschritter on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter, all those things. So you can find me there. And then there's a Linktree link in all my bios to find me. But
I
yeah,
love Linktree.
Linktree is the Let's Connect button at the top of the website.
Oh,
So
there you go. It's just so convenient because you click it and then you get all the things and yeah, I like it.
loveunedited.com is easy to say, easy to remember.
Right? I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. All right,
This,
so what are we going to be talking about next time then?
um, well, I think about being married to somebody who hid something and the story and however much of it, of course, you want to share. But I mean, if you wrote a book
So
about it, so
exactly.
I feel like it's fair game.
Too many secrets left. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, exactly. So I think we need to have that little bit of focus because that's the whole other piece of the pie.
Huge. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Well, we'll set it up.
we
That'll be
totally
great.
will. Awesome. And thank you everybody for joining us and watching. As I said at the beginning of the episode, share and subscribe and then share
Share,
some more.
share this
Um,
so people know about it. Yeah.
right? It's such an important topic. And I haven't mentioned this in a while because I keep forgetting, but don't forget we do have a merch store with some really cool designs, some shirts and sweaters and cups and all the things. And we always give the proceeds back to Canadian Mental Health Association, so that would be awesome to do. Um, and yeah, we are coming up to our 5-year anniversary of the show. Like that's some pretty cool stuff right there. I gotta like plan something cool. I'm always like, I want to plan something big for this, like when it was the 100th episode, and then I didn't. Then when it's the 200th episode, I'm like, I gotta do it. I don't know.
Find out what the date is. We'll figure out what we can do.
Right? We gotta do something. I want to like, I don't know, bring back some really fun guests or something. I don't know. I gotta figure it out. But like, planning is not always my best forte. That's why we
That
go
requires
live.
solitude. Yes.
Yeah, that's why we go live and we just see where we go. But yeah, so again, subscribe, share, and remember, the only way to end the stigma of mental health is to speak openly and honestly.